The Viltrumites have conquered and destroyed many planets over their many reigns. They have sent out their strongest to go and triumph over these worlds. Some of the two men that have done the very best at this job are Omni-Man, the father of Mark, and Conquest, the fight-seeking monster that was given his name because of how well he conquers planets. What's up guys, my name is Verdix, and if you enjoy videos like this, I make high quality content weekly you won't want to miss. Also, this video contains spoilers for events following Season 3, so if you do not want to be spoiled, go read the rest of the series and come back to this video. Let's start off with Nolan. The dude annihilated Mark and the Guardians of the Globe with ease at the beginning of the series, and only let the Guardians damage him to keep up with his act. He also effortlessly destroyed the entirety of the Flaxen Empire in seconds just by blitzing through the planet. The first real fight Nolan encounters is when the Viltrumites invade planet Thraxa, where we see he is individually stronger than them, but him trying to help out Mark and save the planet while getting jumped is what got him captured. When he breaks out, him and Alan, with the help of Battle Beast, put the beat on the Viltrumites that were on the ship. The first time we see Omni-Man be truly overpowered in a 1v1 is in his first battle against Thragg. We see that Thragg is able to effortlessly beat both him and Mark together. He does this in mere minutes and, like I said, without much effort at all. The second time is when he fights Alan to try to stop him from releasing the Scourge virus on Earth. Now technically this wasn't a 1v1 because Oliver did step in, but we see that throughout this battle that Alan clearly has the edge in it. However, he does get stronger throughout the series, as the next time he fights Thragg, he is putting up a much better fight by himself than he was with Mark previously, but he is still clearly getting beat by him. The same goes for his final encounter with Thragg at the end of the series, where Nolan is able to hold his own for a quick minute in a 1v1 before ultimately getting killed by Thragg. It's important to note that Omni-Man wasn't able to actually severely injure Thragg, as Thragg was still able to equally fight off Mark in the sun after this despite all the help he was receiving. Still though, Nolan is incredibly strong and was able to lead the Viltrumites not just by his leadership, but by his strength. Conquest, being the monster that he is, has thrown down with many tough opponents over the years, yet it wasn't until he met Mark that he was finally taken down. In their first fight, Conquest was constantly overpowering Mark on almost every occasion. It's no secret that he only won because of the help Mark had, especially when Eve burnt off his skin. You can say that Mark was holding back at the start because it's really hard to tell when he isn't, and he also broke his mechanical arm when they clashed after Mark got angry. Regardless though, Conquest, although he lost to him, was still stronger than Mark in their first fight. In their second fight after escaping Earth, Mark was able to hold his own a lot better in this fight, especially in hand-to-hand combat. However, he didn't defeat Conquest by beating him down. He had to choke him out. However, the context of how he was put in this position really matters, as he idiotically left Mark and went after Oliver to satisfy his kill order. If he didn't do this, then he wouldn't have been put in the position to be suffocated by Mark in the first place. He did punch a hole through Mark's chest during this time, but it only happened because Mark didn't let go, and Mark passed out and had to be nursed back to health by Nolan and Oliver. Speaking of, right before their second fight started, Conquest did get a hold of Nolan and threatened to kill him. But this isn't prime Nolan, but still though, even Nolan was worried about Mark fighting Conquest. He truly lived up to his name. For their speed, Nolan at the start of the series could casually move across the galaxy within a week. He also not just escaped a black hole, but was able to move freely around it to help the Thraxans escape. This alone makes his travel speed far above light speed in that massively faster than light plus tier. This also applies to both his combat and reaction speeds too, as we see when Nolan is outmaneuvering and overpowering the Viltrumites on Thraxa and combating Thragg. When they destroyed planet Viltrum, it stated that Nolan moved faster than Mark, and this was after both of his fights with Conquest. Thragg was able to punch faster than Nolan can move in their first fight, but in both their second and third fight, Nolan was able to react to these punches from Thragg and land attacks in, especially in their last fight. Nolan does make Thragg work for this win a lot more than he did in their previous battles. Nolan is most definitely massively faster than light. Conquest, just like every other Viltrumite, has massively faster than light plus speeds. In his first battle with him, he was outmoving Mark on pretty much every occasion, and could achieve a similar feat during their second fight. While he isn't faster than Mark like he was in their first fight, He's still fast enough to keep up with them in their second, and Mark did get faster, but still, Conquest isn't overpowering Mark nearly like he was in their first battle. He was also able to fly up into space instantly and probably through the galaxy to Viltrum or one of their ships. Both Nolan and Conquest are some of the hardest beings to put down. Nolan is able to survive having a hole put through his chest by Thragg. This just shows the incredible amount of damage it takes to put Nolan down. Something that is worthy to note is during his attempted execution, Nolan was letting himself get beat for minutes consistently by 2 Viltrumites, and still had enough strength when Alan and Battle Beast broke him out to help Alan kill one of the Viltrumites. But the ability that gives him an edge over most of his opponents is his Viltrumite DNA, allowing him to heal, even during his fights. So even if you put a ton of damage onto this guy, he can still heal from it. It takes the most deadly attacks in the verse to put him down. Conquest follows suit with this, as even after getting his head pummeled into pieces by Mark, he survived and was able to heal from it. The guy took multiple hits from Mark beforehand, and like I said, got his skin melted off by Adam Eve. Even in their second fight, it took Mark going through hell and almost dying again for him to kill Conquest. Even in the process, it almost costed him his life, and if it wasn't for Nolan and Oliver, Mark would have died. Unless you have some of the best AP in the verse or a crazy hack stability, you're just not beating Conquest. Now that all of the stats are laid out, it's time to decide who wins this battle, Omni-Man or Conquest. Well, one very important factor in this battle is their speed. While Conquest isn't going to be getting blitzed, Nolan can certainly move faster than him and land a series of attacks onto him. These attacks are enough to damage end of series Thragg, who Conquest feared, and on top of this, he isn't as stupid as Conquest. You see, one of the things that holds Conquest back in a lot of his cross-verse fights is the fact that he tends to play with his food, and this can cost him, like I said, most of his battles. In fact, it's the reason that he lost his first fight against Mark. He might take it more seriously since it is Nolan and he was always wanting to fight him, but I still don't think that this will change the outcome. While he looked like he was about to kill him, Nolan at this point is nowhere near as strong as he was at the end of the series. He went from getting thrashed by Thragg, even with Mark's help, to holding him off in a 1v1 for a bit, even when Thragg gets stronger throughout the series. Conquest's death is the reason Nolan surpassed him in strength, and when Mark and Nolan are having their arm wrestling match, Nolan beforehand is very confident he is stronger than Mark, even after he beat Conquest twice. Even if Conquest were to attempt to land a brutal attack onto Nolan, since he is faster than him, Nolan can move out of the way just like he did against Thragg, who is faster than both of them. While at the end of Season 3, I think that Conquest is stronger than him, with the many time skips and fights Nolan takes part of, he just becomes overall stronger. At the end of the day, Nolan outscales Conquest and has all the powers capable to take him down. Give the W to Omni-Man. Well, that's it for you guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and leave a like. It really helps with the algorithm and is very appreciated. As always, shout out to Tiberius for the thumbnail. He makes quality thumbnails for me all the time. And if you would like some of your own, hit him up on Twitter, link in the description, as well as my Twitter at verdicts_ for more of my takes. And without further ado, you guys can get out of here.